I want the truth and nothing but the truth.
What's up, everybody? It's your lawyer, Godot. Today I brought with me the GOAT, Crisis. Crisis, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, everybody, Crisis here.
Yep, and yeah. So there's been a lot of I honestly, with my funny Valentine versus Armstrong video, or Senator Armstrong, right? There's been a lot of craziness happening in the comments, and I just need to check at least both sides, right? I'm going to be checking the JoJo side at least, and Crisis is going to be coming in, bringing the facts with the Armstrong side, because I believe everyone's kind of wiling out a little bit. But yeah, Crisis, would you like to go first with the Senator Armstrong memes?
For sure. So I have a whole video on Jetstream Sam on my channel, which more or less is going to encapsulate kind of all of Armstrong's scaling. I don't think there's anybody who thinks Sam scales above Armstrong or anything, or that Armstrong wouldn't be relative at the very worst. And in that, I basically explain, because this first comment here, we have, let me get this straight now, of the whole video is a joke, okay? In reality, Senator Armstrong is relativistic with large town level AP and Dura, while Funny Valentine is large town level and MFTO with hacks, blah, blah, blah. So I'm only going to address the Metal Gear thing, the AP and speed. So for one, relativistic is pretty big downplay. There have been Metal Gears, arguably, because in the series chronology, it spans from the 60s to 2014. And typically things are, well, in this case, Metal Gear is 2016 or 2018. Typically there's power creep throughout the decades, so things get stronger as they go along. That's just a fact of the series. And you had, as early as arguably the 80s and definitively in the 90s, Metal Gears with lasers and laser weapons. And Solid Snake, Big Boss, had to consistently deal with these things, and obviously not get just battered by every attack. So contextually, most likely they're dealing with these things that shoot the speed of light, laser beams. And then you have characters in the game. Snake has the solar gun in MGS4, which shoots light. Various characters kind of have programming to react to that. But even more apt in this case, Raiden and the calc that I provided Jobber in the video, Raiden in his top speed perception-wise can react and move at very high speeds compared to something that the Metal Gear Rising guidebook calls a laser beam 3 times. Lasers obviously move at the speed of light. Armstrong can obviously react to Raiden all throughout the final battle. So I don't even know. I don't even know of a relativistic, the one relativistic calc that I know of, which I doubt this guy knows of, is Liquid Ocelot in Ray can dodge Metal Gear Rex's laser, which Solid Snake was also stated to be able to dodge as early as Metal Gear Solid 1, which was set in 2005. So. And so the speed thing, the Raiden calc is FTL plus to MFTL plus, tens of thousands of times the speed of light, so that's just incorrect. And then large town level, again, this is all explained in my Jetstream Sam video, but there were components of Metal Gears in the 70s that were stated to be more durable than a nuclear bomb. They could withstand a nuclear war. And then from that point on, the same people who built that Metal Gear are putting their all into later Metal Gears. They're they're just trying to design the most overpowered weapon they can. So logically, we know that they can make this greater than nuke level thing, that they're going to be putting it into here. And then every Metal Gear is stated and shown pretty much to get stronger as it goes until you get to Excelsis, which Armstrong can just one shot and pretty much destroy up to 2/3 or 1/3 of it. So again, large town. Based on this guy's comment, Armstrong in reality would be at least as fast as Valentine, and in terms of AP, he would be above that, and that's not even the high end stuff, the city level stuff.
Yep, because that's the thing, because even though I said I was like using at least the mid ends, I mean, to be like honest, like I did downplay at least Armstrong a little bit, just saying instead of like large town, just say okay town, because honestly it really wouldn't matter for Valentine, because he's like, you know, large building level, like at least for his attack potency, that's the highest he can go. I mean, I guess his durability is like multi-seed block. I mean, hooray, but it's not really gonna change, and you know the whole like massively faster and light for like Valentine. At least there's like some misconception that I even pointed out in the video, right? Is once again, these people think that since the world from part 7, this is an alternate universe version of the world, okay? From part 7, they think that since the world is in part 7, that must mean that it also must scale to its part 3, like alternate universe counterpart, which is just simply not true. There's just no evidence. It's literally just an assumption, right? And then like you look at like we look in guides, right, for JoJo, like JoJo Veller for example, it's the most recent guide. Araki like even makes a comment about like, okay, well yeah, the world does exist in part like 7, but literally the only thing it shares with part 3's the world is everything except physical stats. Like he talks about everything they share except for like their physical stats, essentially. So there's just nothing really to lead to the conclusion that like part 7 of the world would have like city level like plus AP and massively faster and light speeds. And even if it did, it really wouldn't matter because, well, Armstrong's like low ends for at least speed. Like they get to, like Crisis said, what, 23,000 times speed light, right? Like
yeah, so, like at least 10,000 somewhere, like in the tens of thousands of range.
Yeah, and
speed of light.
Yeah, like that, and also you get like, let's say, well, sea level AP, or you can get to like other high ends, like a large mountain level. It's just not going to be a fight really. He's just kind of like gonna blitz and one shot Valentine. I even tried to look to see where this misconception comes from that Valentine like is just this fast and strong, and of course it comes from the, I'm not sure, maybe Crisis, you ever had like beef with like the versus battle like Wiki for like the Metal Gear side? Because
they're terrible. They're terrible, yeah. With Metal Gear in particular.
Bro, I have the same thing with the JoJo side. They're terrible too. I literally looked on their site, and that's literally where the misconception comes from for Valentine, like being this fast and this strong, because they make that assumption too, right? They even provide like a really good reason, like, oh, well, the world's there. I'm like, well, does it scale? Like, is there anything to say it has the same physical stats? Like, no, we're just there. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, Jobber, we were talking about it a little bit earlier. It's like, imagine you have like comic Thor, who's universal bare minimum, MFTL kind of a bare minimum again, and then you just see Thor in the movies and you're like, oh well, that's Thor, right? It's like, that's not, you know, that's a new version that needs to have his own feats presented before you could place him somewhere.
Yeah, like, because oh my god, yeah, you just need like new feats to at least place him somewhere and all that kind of stuff. It's just, yeah, I mean, I honestly, after looking at that, and it's why it's causing so many like problems in this comment section, right? I'm probably just gonna do like a versus battle like Wiki, at least for the JoJo side in terms of scaling. I'm probably just gonna do a gauntlet, like just run through like everything that they get wrong by every character, because like,
yeah, that's fine.
Plus, they're actually afraid of me. Loki, actually, Crisis. They're actually afraid to debate me. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, they won't VC. That's for sure. They definitely won't do that.
They are really scared of VC.
They won't step out of there. If they can't ban you, then they won't engage.
Yeah, because I remember, what was it? They had a problem with like my scaling, and they were like talking like mad trash. And I was like, okay, I don't have an account in there, but I know my server members that does. I'm like, yo, tell them like to come like debate me. Like if they have such a problem, like send them a server link. And they did that, and they like got like really like scared. Like, no, I don't want to debate him. Well, why should I join? I was like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Here's another comment right here. Crisis, can you see for like Armstrong?
Yeah, is the okay, I guess I can't pronounce that person's name, but I see your mouse. Okay. Yeah. Armstrong showed town level plus attack potency, should be around 40 times the speed of light. Low ball, let's see where he's going with it. He has insane for AP low ball. He has the same durability because the swords they use in Metal Gear can destroy atoms at lowest level. Immeasurable durability? Yeah, that's not how that works. Yeah, he just has a resistance to it, it's just like it's a hack. So when you have like some weird esoteric ability, you would like if you wouldn't say that they have like that just doesn't make any sense. Like maybe you could say his atoms are more durable than like a typical person's or typical character's, but it wouldn't be infinite or anything. He just more than likely resists having his molecular bonds broken down. And Doctor also says like his being able to break a high frequency sword flies in the face of conventional physics at the time. So it's more likely than not he's just some freak with a resistance. But also they do Raiden can. It's debatable, and I wanted to at some point a video about this, but it's because obviously Armstrong gets cut throughout the fight. He gets stabbed, he gets slashed, even in like QTEs and scripted things like that. Obviously Sam cuts his arm off, so there's different like. Do you think it's because his nanomachines are too slow in certain cases? Do you think it's because his conscious thought like overrides the subconscious reactions of the nanomachines because he can consciously like make his arms harden before he throws a punch or something? I really want to make a video about that, but it wouldn't be a measurable durability. Genius level IQ, I don't know where that is from.
Bro, he knows some moves.
Yeah, some wrestling moves. I think that's a different point, but yeah, he would definitely not be a genius based on that. Pretty good healing factor. Yeah, if he loses a limb, he can pick it up and put it back on. Okay, let me just see. Can potentially absorb your bioelectricity. That's never stated. He's never shown being able to fly. So, yeah, those are just some. I mean, it just seems kind of like high ball in some cases, low ball in other cases, and he kind of just doesn't know exactly what certain things would mean, but yeah.
I think he started like off on the like right foot at least. At least he said like, okay, talent level plus attack post scene. He's like, okay, overlay. This looks like he went at the high end, but like 40,000 times speed light, but like all that type of jazz.
Yeah.
And stuff. Oh, they got another comment for like, oh, this is like the JoJo side. Like, I think one thing that I have to say to keep in mind for the audience is that when I scaled Funny Valentine, I literally went back to at least how I scaled Johnny and Gyro. I took at least all the things into consideration. My views literally have never changed. Like, I have, when I scaled those characters, I had them around like large building, at least in terms of like attack potency, or like multi-city block, right? Like around those levels, right? And I would look at Armstrong and be like, or not Armstrong, I'd be like, I would look at Valentine and be like, okay, he should at least have like large building level like attack potency because he's able to like chop this guy like to pieces, right? And this guy's durable enough to like he literally just keeps tanking his own like bullets or Tusk bullets that like are at least calc to like large building, right? And all that kind of jazz, right? And when it comes to speed, what was it? I've always had the view of hypersonic. I still have those calcs like use at least Mach 600 or whatever. And the FTL, like at least the gravity stuff, personally, I really don't feel comfortable with that scaling at least anymore. Because I mean, it's a bit like wonky. It's like, okay, you could do it, but like it's really like heavily debatable. Like, okay, like yeah, gravity's random, but like is he moving fast? Does he have to move fast every time to keep up with it, or is he just like simply just super passive or whatever, right? But then we've got the other higher end, like okay, the massively faster than light plus because of the whole world thing. I've already addressed that and said I'm not really comfortable with that like argument either, because I just think it's pretty dumb and just flawed essentially. But yeah, I'm just gonna scroll to another comment. Crisis, you can't hide from that Armstrong video, bro.
Yeah, I was hoping the Sam one would do better. I probably would have done an Armstrong video after that if it did, but Armstrong maybe he's like a bit more high profile. So I do have some stuff to say about the Armstrong fight. So that'll probably be in a video at some point.
He's got some pretty good meme potential, bro. Look at these comments. Nanomachines, what?
Nanomachines, boy.
Yeah. I think another JoJo thing, what was it? So, because of the speed I granted Valentine in this video was it that him being like hypersonic. I guess maybe some people just like wonder like, whoa, did my like whole scaling change for like other future parts? Like, no, everything's literally the same. Like, let's say Johnny with like Tusk Act 3, I have not changed my view on like at least that like state of being that literally no one scales to. Like, it's just a state of being for him to be like infinite speed or something. Part 8 characters, like they have characters that like move the speed of electricity, like at least relativistic speeds. They can reach relativistic to like faster and light, or maybe like certain higher ends, like maybe infinite speed, right? Like, but nothing's really like changed or whatever. And that's pretty much the gist of things. I think what was it? Of course, this comment right here, bro. With Armstrong.
Yeah. I don't know, like. What do you say?
He's mad slow, bro.
There's no argument there. There's no nothing of substance. So
he's super slow. Oh yeah.
I mean, I can react to him with my controller, so you can't be that fast.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Like I can see him with my eyes. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, dog.
All right. Okay. Obviously, you see like a lot of. Look at this shit. Look, bro. Okay, Java, you need to pin a comment you're trolling, and then this guy says, "Wait, is this a troll?" Oh my god. Yeah, deadass. He says, because you gave massively faster than light to Armstrong and hypersonic to Valentine when it's the other way around. Like, they're really got hard on for like the speed point.
Yeah, I mean, you're just gonna have to cope.
Yeah, this is the cope, man. And I don't know. I think this guy, like, I guess Blue Light. I don't know. Like, it's like no offense. Like, okay, just listen. Like, I'm not biased. Like, for JoJo, okay. Like, okay, I love JoJo, but like, all right, let's say I'm biased for JoJo, like as a series. But when it comes to a versus matchup, like I'm just unbiased. Like, bro, like, okay, if this character has like way more like stats or whatever hacks, like, okay, then let's buy this JoJo character. Like, I came into at least the battle like thinking like, oh, maybe like I'm pretty sure Valentine could come out with this W, right? And then I saw the Armstrong skin, I was like, god damn, okay, all right, I was pretty wrong, all right. So like, there's nothing like really wrong with that. And just because Armstrong won against like Valentine, keep in mind this is a Valentine with just D4C, like unequal stats. It's D4C, not Love Train or anything else, just D4C base, right? And just because Valentine lost because he's too slow and too weak doesn't mean that like Armstrong's gonna run the fate of the entire like JoJo like cosmology or cast. Like, that's no, it's just not how it works. Like, it's not like what I'm saying. Obviously, I'm just saying at least Funny Valentine would like lose this fight. And obviously, like, these characters with their higher ends, like let's say if we use Love Train, right? There's nothing like Armstrong's just gonna do to a multiversal plus like barrier, like. And the thing is, I didn't even include the statement that barrier literally, like, not only does it transcend dimensions, but like also like mathematical dimensions. Like, what's he gonna do? He's not gonna break that. He's eventually gonna get like.
Yeah, you have to get really wacky. You have to be like, well, Armstrong defies physics. He's above physics.
Yeah,
you know, and then just go crazy.
Yeah, like I'm not like saying like, I don't know, Valentine can survive Tusk 4's like infinity or some shit. Like, no, that's all I'm saying. Like, it's just like, I don't know, character gets blitzed in one shot because he doesn't have the like the durability, speed, or AP or whatever to deal with this character. It's pretty simple as that. But we're gonna move on to this right here. Got some comments. Okay, so yeah, because I made a community post about it. I was like, okay, bro, like, y'all need like kind of like stop whining out. Like, it's okay for some JoJo characters to take some L's. Like, I mean, if anything, I think I got like a versus matchup like soon. How about this? I'll just say, let's say on my channel, JoJo versus Naruto, right? And okay, fine, like we're gonna get like a W, but there's also gonna be like a W for Naruto or whatever. At least to appease like both sides, like at least be truthful, like who'd win. But this guy said, and this is the definition of irony, by the way. He said, "This was so funny to me because you were like the FTL JoJo guy. You made so many videos defending the scaling and arguing is valid for a big chunk of the cast," which is, the guy's saying is true about Crisis, because I literally have like a playlist like debunking like people trying to like say JoJo's an FTO because it's like horrendous arguments, but all of these like having a positive reception for the most part, but the one moment you don't scale a JoJo character to FTO, things go wrong. It's just essentially what happened here. Let's see. Let me look here. So I think there's some like right here. Let's see. Okay, so this guy, of course, he has the comment of, bro, just because the world is drawn differently, he doesn't. Oh my god, he doesn't spell it differently, right? I almost spoke what he said. Doesn't mean it's lost its original stats. The time stop is still 5 seconds, just like part 3 DO, so logically its speed's still the same. I mean, I already addressed this before, maybe address it in the comment, like as a reply to him. More memes.
Yeah, that guide statement seems pretty good, like pretty definitive.
Yeah, but that's pretty much I think that's pretty much about it. That's what I just came on here to do. I'm glad Crisis hopped in here. I just wanted to get rid of this like horrendous Senator Armstrong downplay. Also, like, just watch his like, what was it, the Jetstream Sam video. That's a really good video. Essentially, like scaling these characters out, like you can see like where they like scale like large town, like city level, and then like 20,000 times speed like to 40,000 times the speed of light, right? Like how OP they can like get, you know. And I've dispelled the whole like notion of at least the funny Valentine misconception of him being at like that fast or whatever, and the whole like flawed like system of logic of an alternate universe of the world scaling to like, let's say, part 3's like version of the world with like just no evidence, right? But yeah, that's pretty much about it. Chris, you got any final words?
No, I think it makes sense. If somebody, if I came out here and made like, doing Metal Gear for this long, and it's happened, and I've done it before, and when you make a video, you're interested in 2 characters, but you're primarily focused on one series, and then another guy from another series shows up, and you're just unbiasedly like, well, sorry guys, but this isn't a dub, and people will respond in a way, just because there's not many people who are like either objective or equally fans of 2 things. Usually they have like a favorite thing, and then they're going to try to represent that as hard as possible. But yeah, just silly little downplay here and there, but that's nothing too horribly egregious from what I've seen in terms of like, it's to be expected is really my point.
Yeah, like all the downplay, but hopefully at least this clears this video is gonna clear some things up, right? And at least make JoJo versus Metal Gear conversations more healthy, right? I mean, also helps because maybe me and Crisis might do like a JoJo versus like Metal Gear video like in the future, maybe on his channel or my channel, right? And conversations could be more healthier or more interesting. We can get something out of it other than just like these really weird arguments for both sides. Like one's downplaying, one's like, okay, kind of like wanking this guy, but that's generally about
it. Let's all be fair, let's all be objective.
Yeah, essentially. But yeah, once again, thank you, Crisis, for hopping on to this video. It's a pleasure.
No problem.
Yeah, good job.